Hello everyone, I'm back. This is War in the Pacific Admiral Edition. I'm playing with TF1377 and he's the Japanese player. I'm of course the Allied player. Last time we had some issues with sound, speaking of. I think sound is going to be a little issue. I've fixed some things, but there are some things that are I think I have to tweak it some more, but it's better now, I believe. We will certainly see soon enough. And this is an ASW attack trying to clear around Pearl Harbor these Japanese subs. So far, I've been able to get in and out as needed with some extra escort here and there. In the meantime, I'm also patrolling around here trying to take these guys out. So far, not 100% successful. Hopefully, clearing some. Their torpedoes missed, and then as they dive deep, looks like the Elliott is trying to do its part. Hopefully, do some damage here. So far, it's just rattling the submarine, and it ran out of ammunition. So that ended that attempt. And these AMs, there's a 3 AM task force, although I think it's down to 2. We lost an AM to a torpedo submarine. So they only have one depth charge weapon rack. So it's not real useful, but the idea is just to keep them suppressed, these submarines. These destroyers are doing what they can. If nothing else, hopefully we're keeping them pinned down underwater. Didn't see any damage here, just some rattling and evasion by the submarine, the Japanese I-17. I haven't seen very often these ASW ships take turns. It seems like each of these days when there are ASW attacks, one one ship at a time is taking a turn, and then they lose the sub and that's over. I'm not 100% sure how that works. I will say, and there are my B-17s. I was trying to do a night bombing mission, and there's another torpedo destroying that. My AM. What was I saying? Oh, B-17Ds. I was trying to do a night bombing mission on Palembang, and it looks like they got lost in the night. So, yeah, it's gonna, as soon as I hit done, it's gonna sink. These things are small. This torpedo is probably completely obliterates it. Yeah, it's done. And here's my shelling. The idea is to bombard Luganville in advance of my amphibious invasion. We'll see how successful this is in disrupting his troops. I have no idea what to expect here as far as specifics. Well, I can see here there's an SNLF unit. What else? We'll find out. So, I don't know for how long these last. So let's just cut to the chase. Yeah, that's a lot of shelling, a lot of shelling. I went ahead and told it to allow my escorts to hit, so they've been firing away with their smaller guns. looks like we did some damage. If nothing else, shake them up a little bit. Damage their supply. Who knows? I don't know what they have here in the form of supply. Hopefully hopefully it shakes them up enough to give my troops a chance to land and dislodge them. This may be part of I'm not sure what this is. This may be part of the amphibious task force, so they could be shelling as the transports start preparing to unload. That's what it kind of looks like. And by the way, this Joseph T. Dickman, it's funny that this is standing out here. I need to get that out of there as soon as possible. It's scheduled to be withdrawn, and I thought I'd use it for this mission quickly. It needs about 3 weeks. I need to get it out of there. Withdraw it. Yeah, that's a lot to lose. Fortunately, it's mostly disabled, but wow, we'll see the effects of that at the end of the resolution. Yeah, doing some more shelling. I'm not seeing any response shelling, so they must not have set up any defenses here. So, and we're not doing anything to their stuff. Defensive guns. But I'm not, oh, 15. Okay, I was wrong. I just didn't look there. Plus, I didn't see any in the combat sequence. Maybe I wasn't looking in the right place. So let's see if we can do something. This AM is by himself. See what he can do with his single rack of depth charges. Doesn't seem like it's that intimidating, at least from my perspective. I don't know what the Japanese skipper thinks. So yeah, that's over anyway. Actually, I guess I did have a couple of 3 AMs. One got sunk. We'll see what I got after this is over. Yeah, maybe I can get some of these Japanese cargo ships. My subs haven't been active lately, so maybe we can get back into the fight here. Okay. Okay. Maybe I don't understand PT boats and how they work, but it seems like, okay. Oh, these are, okay, that's right. These are coastal minesweepers. The idea there is to just keep the Japanese from dropping mines in my ports. So they weren't really set up to hold against any kind of invasion or anything. That's not why they were there. So they weren't PT. I was mistaken there. They didn't get damaged, nor did they do anything to defend themselves. What are we going to have here with certainly have had a lot more action than the last turn. So we got some damage here. We actually made a hit. It doesn't look like it had long-lasting effects. It might not even cause enough damage for the I-2 to leave its spot. Actually, it looks like 2 hits. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm bringing in the Mississippi to Pearl. The idea is to get it in and park it for a minute. I've got some ideas for where to use it. It really could go anywhere. I mean, I've got several options I'm toying with. So we'll see. But And my air units are doing a little bit more activity this turn against their submarines. Seems like last turn was very lackluster in all the phases, so which seemed kind of odd. So we'll see how this one plays out. Now here's his usual bombing rate of Gagayan as he continues to try to soften up my defenses here. I'm going to skip through this. After the sound dies down, I'll say a couple things. Well, real fast, he has tried to dislodge these with deliberate attacks once or twice, I want to say, and he has not been successful. So I think he's taking an approach that is more patient and just disrupt him with air and attack him again another day. And here's another wave. Let's see. This weather, heavy rain, it looks like it's helping because he's not getting a ton of hits on my airbase. And up here at Loyang, I think his goal, I'm guessing, this is 100% guess, that he's just trying to see what I have here. Although on his land attacks, he may do a bombardment as well to get even more information. All I've left is very weak holding force, mainly garrison, just to keep them from destroying the base. And pardon me. And I've withdrawn most of the units back into the rougher terrain because his units were starting to flank. I didn't really point that out specifically, I don't think, before. So really there's not much here for him to knock around. So if he really wants to, that's going to be a cakewalk, I think. So some reconnaissance in various strategic areas of the map. What do we got here? My Hudsons are on naval attack. I'm trying to see if I can do some sinking of his smaller invasion fleets, which seems to be very unsuccessful. Plus it's only 3 planes. There's not a lot of expectations there. Some more spotting, looking for, I don't know, subs, ships, anything that stands out. This is Luric Battalion and the Rabal Base Force trying to run off to Gazmata. Rabal Detachment Base Force looks like it's the target for this bombing run, as the remnants of Lark Battalion gets away or escapes the wrath. Here's the bombing of Bataan, the usual daily bombing. And we have heavy rain, which it looks to be affected the accuracy. And some more bombing here. Actually damaged one of his planes. I don't know if there are more that aren't here damaged. Just some minor damage. It's enough to keep it from upgrading the forts, and Cagayan is in the same boat. But it's just not excessive damage like one would expect with all these bombers coming in. It's possible, I wonder if the heavy rain here is keeping them from coming in as a unified group, because this is a very scattered approach. Also, we're damaging some more of these bombers. I do have some flak here. It just doesn't seem to be quite enough to, it's certainly not enough to keep them away, but it doesn't seem to be doing much damage to their planes either. I've lost all my air force over here. His sweeps were very deadly and I just couldn't hold up against them. Okay, he's trying to spot me in Pegu, see what I'm up to. Again, some more scattered approach here to Bataan. Yeah, this has been a much more busy resolution than prior day. But I am surprised my B-26s did not fly from Noumea either. So what do we have here? The Preble did not find the I-6. That's fine. Some minor casualties unloading here with some coastal guns firing at us. Fortunately, it looks like we haven't taken damage to our ships. Speaking of, what can we do here? I don't know if we have any coastal guns yet posted at Sarong. We may, it looks like we don't. It says defensive guns fire, but I don't know what I have here. I guess I have a base force. I just don't know what it looks like right off. This came in just this turn, so I haven't been really paying attention specifically to Sarong here. Yeah, some more unloading there. Yeah, he did a shelling of Pakoi last turn. Now he's attacking it outright. He takes it easily enough. That was just a holding force, garrison, to keep the garrison up. We got knocked out with way too many casualties, honestly. This 675 is small. That number I don't think of as a bad number, but then when you look at these quantities destroyed, it's way too high. Okay. Bombardment at Nanyang. Now, similarly, I've got, pardon me, I've got just Garrison here. He'll, after testing the waters here, I'm sure he'll sweep that aside easily enough. Loyang, yeah, that's gone. Division, yeah, he's gonna slaughter that portion of the, yeah, that portion of the 38th Chinese Corps is not in good shape after that. Didn't do any damage to him, essentially, more or less. Yeah, daily bombardment at Bataan. I've been causing more damage to him than he has to my units, but it's certainly using supplies, which he probably has a lot more access to right now than I do. We'll just push through here, because that could take a long time. Alright, we're not doing as much damage to his stuff here, and I'm surprised. We've been doing a ton of damage to his guns. I don't see any damage to his guns here. I mean, they're not even listed here like as an item. And he's only lost a few vehicles. We're starting to lose more than we have been in the recent past. Okay. So he's shelling me at Luganville, and it looks like his unit is a bit stronger than ours, but I think we have more yet to unload. I think we'll be okay. We're certainly going to be bringing in several guns. I have 2 whole artillery regiments here to attack, so. And by the way, when I'm getting ready to do something offensive here, I think I'm going to be bringing in even more air units to assist, really soften it up. We'll see. So that looks like it's wrapping up here. We do have Cristobal and Madras upgrading some of their bases. And yeah, we're upgrading some ships still, pulling them out of action, wrapping up the day. See what we got for reinforcement. Okay. Okay. Some air units there in Calcutta, marine units. Okay. So that wraps up the resolution. Let me take a second, load up the game, and we'll talk briefly about the situation as it stands after that resolution. Okay, I'm going to load this up. Last time I didn't look at this, or if I did, I didn't look specifically where I want to this time. So we do have a point score differential that is in our favor, but that's, again, we're still February 42. We're going to lose a lot more ground yet. But let's look at aircraft losses. We can see that everything looks to be ops related. We have not had any air-to-air action in a long time. So Mavis, Nell, 0. We lost to Catalina also. To be expected, I have them flying around the clock. So 361 to 324 campaign, mostly because we haven't had air-to-air action. If we did, I think the numbers on both sides would be higher, but I think even more on my side because his pilots and his airframes are better than mine right now. But we haven't run into each other to have those air-to-air battles. I have not, honestly, I've not Sir Robin out of here. I have some air units flying cap over Rangoon, Pegu. He's not ready to go there yet. I also have fighters flying cap over Singapore, but again, just he's being patient and he has a different approach than I've seen before. Even the AI, the AI can be very aggressive with its air units, probably to its own detriment. But anything specific I was going to look at? Oh yeah. So air-to-air losses, if you look, they've been very light. 118 to 66. Mostly it's destroyed on the field, probably day one and a day or two here and there where I was caught napping. He's lost some from flak, and then we've had several operational losses. It looks like as many operational losses as destroyed on the field or air to air, and he's had more operational than any other category. So ship sunk, let's check. I don't know what was. So I guess I got the better of him on this cargo ship, and he got my minesweeper here. So I'll take that trade, I think. Let's look. Uh, I will point this out. I do have only a couple more days before I got to get these B-17s out of the eastern U.S. Oh yeah. So we can look here. I did lose that Catalina pilot. Apparently he crashed and destroyed the plane and unfortunately lost his own life. So yeah, there's something else I want to look at here. So let's just take a look at the map briefly, and as you can see, he still has this fully tightly surrounded. It's hard to get in and out without him seeing us. So we'll do the best we can to get. Oh, what do we have here? Okay, this battleship is in a transport task force. I had a reason for that, but that reason has kind of gone away. We'll just flip it back to surface combat. It'll be more accurate to see on the map, I think. Surface combat. Didn't change the icon here. If you can tell, that icon looks to still be the transport icon. I want to, well, let's see. This is my second, I'll just say this. This is my second video posting. I'm kind of trying to come up with a pattern that I can go over with everyone. So maybe we can do Alaska, around the West Coast, down in the South Pacific, cover Australia, and then as long as we hold Dutch East Indies, talk about that briefly, and then end in India. So let's just show you. We have done a little bit to reinforce ADAC and supply it, done a little bit of resupply and reinforce Dutch Harbor. We have some activity going on in Alaska a little bit, where we've done a little bit of at least resupplying, reinforcing, moving guys to positions that make sense. So that's happened. We're not doing anything extremely active right now, except for this. I think it's here. This holds some units that are heading to Kodiak so that we can continue to build up Kodiak. Then we're going to drop off some more guys to ADAC and continue to build that up. I like Dutch Harbor okay, and it starts out with a high port capacity, but ADAC does have higher potential. So when we get that built up, I think I'm going to move my sub base from Dutch Harbor to ADAC Island. And it looks like Seattle, San Francisco, we got Los Angeles, and even San Diego we're using as bases from which to bring supplies and fuel to various ports, most specifically Pearl Harbor, but I'm also bringing stuff to the, well, Pacific Islands out here, Palmyra, and I don't know if this is called the Central Pacific, but Central/South Pacific, Palmyra, Canton, Pago Pago. You know, we have a little bit going on here with Savai, Suva, and Nadi, trying to keep them somewhat ready status. Ifate has several supplies. I think we're okay here. So you can see here my units who have dropped here. His force looks a lot bigger than I anticipated with my recon planes, and that could be terrain. They're hiding under the trees here. So we'll see. We'll get some bombardment action in and see if we can soften it up. I will have to pull the Dickman out of here, I think, and probably send it back to base. We'll see. There's no, I have 3 weeks and it's close enough to Sydney to get here and withdraw it. I have some more troops coming to Noumea just this turn that I can turn around, throw on this same transport force that's dropping them off, or for that matter, bring back empty transports, which they're not empty, they're actually dropping off supplies. Anyway, we'll get it worked out. I have the troops and the capacity to keep bringing more. It can't take forever because he's going to eventually come with KB and who knows what else and hit this hard. The best I can do right now is to keep air units flying over it for a couple of turns, hopefully protecting it for a little bit. We'll see. So our shore bombardment task force might, no, I can't remember if I sent it back. Yes. So the goal was to bombard, and it used up a ton of ammo. So the goal was to bombard, come back here, hopefully, uh, I'm learning still. I've got some AGs here. I think that's all I have, and I do have an AE. I think, well, I'll see what they replenish with this. With this, actually, I'll go ahead and do a refuel. Hopefully, it replenishes ammo. If not, they're going to Sydney and regroup there. We'll see. Um, this will be an experiment where I'll learn something, if nothing else. So I've got an artillery regiment heading to Brisbane. It's gonna, or Brisbane, sorry. It's gonna again increase the defensiveness, hopefully. So that's what's going on here in the South Pacific. There's not really much happening here the last couple turns. I've established some bases, still working on establishing them, but those are more longer term builds where I'm just slowly bringing in stuff. This is just supplies. So, but Noumea and now Luganville, these are the focal points right now, and that's where that is. But I'm still also trying to keep this built up here in Port Moresby in the event that I have seen in SIGINT that he's planning to invade this. Now, is that going to happen? Is it false information? Is it something that he's going to put off indefinitely or at least for a few months? I guess we'll find out. This, so I'm bringing the 1st Australian Corps up to Port Moresby. I kind of want to see if that's going to, my hope and goal is to see if they can support this help strengthen the defensive attitudes and morale, the training quality of these troops. Also, bringing in some support that'll bump this up over its required value. That's my goal there, bringing the 1st Australian Corps here. Darwin, I've been shipping in troops from other parts of Australia. The assault value is not extremely high, but we're also building up the fortifications. And the Dutch East Indies, there's mostly what's happening here is I'm just shuffling supplies, trying to keep Java supplied so that when he invades, they won't cave too quickly. And then just trying to keep an eye out for what's happening out here. There's not much I can do to react. So if he goes in, he's going to get it probably. There's not, yeah, there's the idea isn't to rush troops or anything into different areas, nor is it to Sir Robin and run away either. It's just I want to keep an eye, know what I'm expecting, and if there is opportunity to do some kind of strike, I'll hopefully take it. So I don't have a lot of assets in this area, partly because of his Bettys, and partly because I moved them, or I chose to move them to the South Pacific in the fight against those Japanese at Luganville. Here, I did withdraw this damaged ship from a Betty attack. Gonna have to get him repaired. There's a British surface combat group here. They lost one of their light cruisers due to a Betty attack. So that's been diminished by a third, actually, a third of the power. Rangoon, I've been slowing down the level of import of supplies because I have a lot and it's been escaping up, I believe, up this pipeline. Uh, yeah, up this pipeline and into China. Hopefully, that was always the goal. And but not fast enough to use it all up. So I decided that I would send more or less a small, I would take these smaller ships so that when the time comes and he decides he wants to finally start bombing me here, I'm using smaller ships instead of the bigger, more valuable ships. So that's my thought there. Then I'm actually decided to come here and add supplies to Java. Again, uh, partly I evacuated a lot of supplies, took it out to bring it to key places out here, particularly in this area of the map, as well as this area here, Timor and these islands out here. But then I noticed that this was getting depleted. Now it's restocking, but it never hurts to have too many supplies, because as he comes in and starts depleting them with bombing raids or shore bombardments, they'll still have quite a lot of supplies, hopefully, to fight with. That's that's my thinking anyway. That's my hope and dream for that part of the world. And back to Burma. It looks like he's not moving against me here at Pegu. Not exactly sure his intentions, but I'm sure he'll make it clear when he's ready. So one thing I've noticed is that he when he does come, he comes ready for the fight. So will we be? I guess we'll find out. And then I did bring the Australian, what division is it? The 6th Division. I'm putting it in points. This is the cavalry unit because I figure it can react quickly. I I don't know his timetable. If he does bring in a fleet and decides to hit here, my hope is to challenge that invasion. These Australian units may be useful somewhere else. I just opted to drop them here. I hope that's not the wrong decision. We'll find out. So far, one of the most important things I feel like I've been doing is just massive fuel convoys, just uninterrupted, back and forth, pick it up at Abadan, drop off at Karachi. I haven't, as long as I have a ship here, it's loading fuel and it's bringing it here. And as long as there's room, it's docked and unloading. And the fuel is being used in different places to make supplies. I believe we're stockpiling in a pretty good quantity. A lot of it's coming here to Calcutta, which we're bringing to different places. Got some stockpiling in Madras so that we have a quicker shipment to Ceylon. And I believe, yeah, we have some stockpiling in Cochin because I'm using that to bring stuff to Colombo and also to keep these Maldive islands, the Maldives, supplied. Can't forget Socotra, which I did do a single resupply run, which seems to have been okay so far. And then ships are congregating here for transport of reinforcements that are coming from possibly Egypt or other parts there in that vicinity. And then we'll drop here and talk and just mention briefly that occasionally supplies will be dropped here automatically with those convoy units, and they will cause this to be replenished. And we are shipping everything that we can. As you can see with some of these ships here, we're shipping everything we can to Perth, which I'll actually go to in just a second. But I wanted to say also, these United States task forces have been bringing supplies to Cape Town, mostly in the form of fuel, because those convoys that do come here and withdraw, leaving stockpile of stuff, they don't bring a lot of fuel. So the goal is to keep fuel here for the ships coming and going, but also to give us the opportunity to maybe start carrying fuel to Perth as well. We don't want to lose the fuel pipeline either. We were convoying oil from Palembang and Surabaya to Perth, but we're losing those sources of fuel And so I want to be able to still continue to bring fuel in. So we'll maybe have to come in through Cape Town, dropping off at Perth. However, I'm also still bringing fuel from the western United States to Sydney, so that won't stop either. Now, Perth, we don't have a lot going on here, specifically in this hex, that is, but we do have, as you can see, this what is it, conga line of ships coming to Perth all the way back. So, and possibly all the way back. Well, we looked here all the way back to this exit box. Yeah, these are ships returning to Cape Town to continue the cycle. I did pick up some fuel from Balikpapan, and they're going to bring it to Perth. I decided to remain on station. I want to see what's going on in this area before I bring them back. But because I lost Palembang, I decided and Surabaya, I had almost uh, emptied out of fuel. I decided let's pull out what we can of Balikpapan. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully keep, well, emptying it out for two reasons. One, to our benefit, and one, so that he won't have it there when he takes it. So that's kind of the idea. So we're still kind of unloading these fuel tanks into our ships and bringing them out. So we don't have much left here. We've kind of depleted it. That's not to say it won't be useful to come back to pick up more, but that's why I'm remaining on station down here at Perth. As soon as he gets here and unloaded, I'll reevaluate the situation then. Um, I th I mean, I'm sure there's stuff I'm not covering because I'm not thinking about it. But hopefully the ideas and things to discuss will come easier and easier each time I do one of these. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. I think I've already exposed enough things to not say, hey, some things are going to be secretive, but I guess we'll see. So ask whatever questions you have, and we'll go from there. So thanks for joining me, guys. Have a great evening. Have a great rest of your day or evening, whatever you're maybe doing today. Take care.